This is the King Chasing Podcast, where we keep Christ at the center of athletics. Here's your host, Brandon Gilmore.
Welcome to the show. I'm Brandon, and this is the King Chasing Podcast. Thanks for joining us today, and please make sure to visit our website at theNCCAA.org for more King Chasing content. Well, I can't wait for you to hear my conversation with our guest today, Justin Lauer. Justin is a PGA Tour professional who attended Malone University, where he was a four-time NCCAA Men's Golf All-American, was the 2008 NCCAA Individual Champion, and led Malone to the 2008 NCCAA National Title. He began competing on the Korn Ferry Tour in 2014 and has won the Ohio Open in 2012 and 2015. Lauer earned his PGA Tour card in September of this year, securing it on the final hole of the Korn Ferry Tour Championship. Thanks for tuning in, and I hope you enjoy this conversation with Justin. Well, hey, Justin, welcome to King Chasing.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Happy to have you. Let me just start by saying congratulations on recently earning your PGA Tour card in pretty epic fashion, if I do say so, coming down to the last hole.
Yeah,
it's a pretty
thank
big
you.
accomplishment.
Yeah, thanks. It was fun. It was stressful. Like I said before, I didn't know where I stood. So even though I made that up and down on the last hole, I still didn't really know if that was enough or if it wasn't enough. And I was just really proud of the way I fought coming down the last 9 holes, because I didn't get off to a great start that round. And but I was going to be happy with the outcome no matter what. I was just proud of the way I kind of battled back. So.
Sure. So after playing in the Korn Ferry Tour for 6 years, that moment when you knew that you got your PGA Tour card, what were the emotions that you were feeling?
Oh, it was just happiness. It was relief. I don't know. It was just a little bit of everything, really. Like I had, I worked really hard, played a lot of events out on that tour, and even before that, like I played so many mini tour events as well. And even when I was on the Korn Ferry Tour, just playing mini tour events in the off season or in between the big gaps that we had in between our seasons, just so many events that I had played and all the work that I put in. It was just finally just a great relief to finally actually graduate up to the PGA Tour and know that I've actually earned my way out there. Still have a long way to go, but the fact that I actually get to play and compete out there now it's pretty gratifying for sure.
I'm sure. You mentioned relief. Some of our listeners may not know that back in 2018, you actually missed getting your PGA Tour card by just one shot. So can you kind of talk about how you overcame that disappointment, and then what's the journey been like for the past 3 years?
Yeah, it was disappointment, but at the same time, it was I want to say gratifying as well, because I had never really been in that position before. It was the first year I had actually secured status on the Korn Ferry Tour for the following year. So it was the first year I wasn't going to have to go back to Q school, which was a relief in itself, because Q school it's no fun for anyone. It's no fun for players, caddies, spouses, family members, anyone. It's extremely stressful. You can play so well and not get rewarded, and it's just a very, very hard golf tournament to play. And but yeah, obviously for it to come down to one shot, it kind of sucked, honestly. But it wasn't just that one shot. Like it was over a 4 tournament stretch. It's now a 3 tournament finals series. But that one was over 4 events. So it was any shot in those 4 events. And like the first event that year in Columbus, I'd missed the cut by 1, bogeying my last hole. The next event in Cleveland, I finished like 34th, and I remember just a couple holes here and there. Like I made the cut on the number that week, played okay the third round, and played better the last round, but there was like a 30-footer on the last hole that I left right on the lip, so it could have been any of the shots I hit that week. In Boise that year, I finished ninth, but I remember I finished 3 over par on the last hole throughout the week. I bogeyed it 3 rounds and then finally parred at the last round. But so if I turn any of those into a par, it's a whole different story. And then again with that final tournament, the Tour Championship that year, it was it's not like I played bad. I thought I shot 15 or 16 under par that week to finish 20th, and I did know that it was like solo 22nd would have been good enough, but even though I beat that, I was in like a 5 or 6 way tie for 20th, which didn't help because it kind of diluted the points. But no, it only gave me more motivation to get better, and I finally had kind of an off season, which was nice. And yeah, I just went back to work early, and then 2019 didn't get off to a great start, but we had about a month and a week break, so about a 5-week break, kind of early in the season, and came back, and I finished second in Louisiana and started playing a little better throughout that the spring going into the summer. But then I was kind of stressing out a little bit because I was in the 25 but never really did anything to solidify my spot in the 25. I had a couple chances here and there, but it was just like, again, like a different territory, like a position that I had never really been in before. And so it was learning how to deal with that, deal with the pressure of knowing that one good week could fix a whole lot of things. And then I think I ended up finishing 44th on the points list that year. So, and at one point I was 12th, I think, after the win, 12th or 13th, something like that. And, or after the second place, sorry. And then I made the cut in every finals event that year, every playoff event, but I didn't really have a great finish and didn't really give myself a chance to get a PGA Tour card that way either. I think I finished 50th in the finals that year. And then 2020 got off to a good start, kind of before COVID. And then I think I don't know. I know I missed my last 3 or 4 cuts before COVID hit, and I know I wasn't in a good spot mentally or physically with my golf game, and it just wasn't any fun. And as bad as COVID was for some people, it was kind of a blessing to me. I got to kind of reset myself. Had about a 3-month break from March until mid-June is when we started back up. And as soon as we started back up, I kind of hit the ground rolling. Had a 22nd place finish, so a top 25 coming right out of the gates. And then I finished second our second week back. So yeah, it was, I started playing a lot better and was just in a better headspace for sure. And then we knew after we started back up that they were combining this year, or all of 2020 with 2021. So we knew we had like a mega season, basically. It came down to, I think, 46 events or 43 or something like that.
Wow.
And then had another second place finish at the BMW this year in June, where I played probably the best golf I had played for 3 straight days, and then kind of ran into a buzzsaw with Mito Pereira. He won his second event in a row in back-to-back weeks, and that was his 3rd win of the year, which got him the Battlefield promotion on the PGA Tour. And I was 24 or 23 under through 3 rounds, and I think I had a 3-shot lead on him, but it was quickly erased that day. And again, I know it's just kind of a broken record, but it was a position that I'd never really been in. I'd had a lead going into Sunday, but not like that. It seems I get the lead on courses to where they're a little on the easier side, and where a good round from someone behind can really propel them up and kind of challenge me. And that's what happened both times I've had to lead going into Sunday, unfortunately. But like I said, all a learning process. And then and I ended up finishing 30th in the regular season, which was obviously 5 spots away. Going down like in the last couple of events of the season, since we had so many points available and such a big season, it was hard to really move up, even with good finishes. I remember I shot 20 under in Springfield, Illinois, which was in July, and not even finishing in the top 10. I finished 11th. And I was just like, I mean, 20 under is usually, it's good enough to win some weeks, but it was,
Right.
It wasn't that week, unfortunately. Not even good enough for a top 10, but still good golf. And then knew I was playing okay going into the finals, and didn't really have a great event in the finals until like I finished 31st or 33rd in Boise. Had 2 really good rounds in the middle, didn't start or end well. And then Columbus, which is the closest event to home for me, which is always a nice one to play in. I finished 45th, never really got anything going, and then finished 15th in the Tour Championship. And luckily it was enough by a mere 5 points. So, and now I'm on the PGA Tour just like that. So very lucky to be here, but at the same time, just I know that I have to keep working hard to only elevate my status more and more, and to be able to choose my schedule and get into events that I want to play in.
I love that perspective you shared back in 2018 that, yeah, it came down to the last shot, but it really didn't. It's kind of true in life as well that, you know, what we do today matters for tomorrow. So that's such a great perspective. Now that you're on the PGA Tour, I know you've only been on for a short time, but do you anticipate anything changing with your mentality or your routine? Or do you just kind of keep the same routine you've had while you were on the Korn Ferry Tour?
My day-to-day routine at a tournament will change a little bit, simply because I've gone from one of the top guys on the Korn Ferry Tour to honestly the bottom of the totem pole on the PGA Tour. So I'm not eligible for pro-ams, so I have to kind of change my schedule a little bit week to week on that, to where I'm getting more work done on Monday and Tuesday on the golf course, and then using Wednesday to kind of fine tune everything, and then going from there. And then as opposed to when I was on the Korn Ferry Tour, I could just use Monday as a travel day, or even Tuesday morning, get there Tuesday, play 9 holes, and then have a pro-am on Wednesday, to where I could kind of go into the week a little more fresh, when now I kind of have to be there a little more, and just kind of have to prepare in a little different way. But other than routine, my physical routine, my golf routine, I probably won't change a lot. I know I have to be a little sharper here and there. The courses are a little bit tougher, and obviously the competition's tougher. So have to be a little sharper mentally and physically with the golf game, but no real big changes golf to my golf game in that sense. But definitely throughout the week having to change a little bit how I prepare, for sure.
Yeah. Prior to your time on the Korn Ferry, I know you played at Malone University under Ken Highland, who's the head golf coach there. What impact has he had on your faith journey?
Oh, he's one of the most influential people I've had come into my life. He gave me a chance when really no one else really would. And as sad as that sounds, for a kid coming out of high school who, it was April of my senior year, and I hadn't decided really where I was going to college, and didn't really have a whole lot of not structure, but not much of a plan really. And I knew he had always kind of had the offer there to for me to go there, and to go there and compete and learn and go to school as well. And it was I just called him one day, April of my senior year, and I was like, I'll be honest, Coach, I haven't been accepted to the university yet. I haven't even applied to the university. Is there any way, like, is there a late period that I could get in? He's like, absolutely. We're still taking students, and I could definitely find a spot for you on the team. And it was some of the best 4 years of my life. And it was, I learned so much just under him, and not only just like on the golf course, but off the golf course as well. How to act as a person, what's expected of you as a person, and and then on the golf course, the same thing. What's expected, how to act, and how to play some decent golf as well.
How important do you think that is for our listeners to have somebody like that in your life, to have a mentor?
Oh, you can't even put a value on it, really. I mean, I meet people every day that have had almost toxic relationships with their golf coach, and I'm like, or with their college coach especially, and I just have no idea what that is like, and I don't want to know what it would be like, because I had such a good relationship with coach, and everyone on the team did. I mean, we were all from the same area. Like the starting five my senior year, we were all from the same county, which is pretty rare in college sports especially. And to be as good as we were, it made it even more fun. But yeah, we had all known each other growing up, and we all kind of competed with each other, and we all kind of knew coach and had a great relationship with coach. And it was, I think that helped us as well. It gave us a comfort level. It gave us confidence at the same time. And I just, the relationship that not only I have, but that what we all have together as a team and with Coach Highland is just, you can't put a value on it. It's invaluable for sure.
For any current student athletes with dreams of going pro, what advice do you have going through the ups and the downs on that journey, and just staying grounded in your faith?
Number one, just work hard. Hard work can trump a lot, especially talent. Talent that's not willing to work hard. One thing that I would, if I had to do over again, I would say find someone who has dabbled in what you're trying to do professionally, to kind of guide you along the way, because it can only help you, especially during the downtimes. They know what it's like, and they know what the struggle is like, and obviously it's tough at times, but it can only help. And then with faith-wise, just, as long as you have something that you're always looking forward to, and that can keep a positive frame of mind for you, and just keep you going day to day, no matter what that is, just stick to that, with what works, and just kind of take it day by day, because it's not, like we talked about earlier, it's not going to happen overnight, even though it seems like for some people that it does, but it does not happen overnight. There's a saying that it was a rock sculptor pounding on a big rock for 100 days, and nothing happens, and on the 101st day it finally cracks, and it's a wise man would know that it's not all the work on the 101st day, but all the work on those 100 previous days. So it's, and that, I would say that's true for anything, whether that's being a professional athlete, whether that's being the best in whatever your profession is. It's just, everything takes hard work. It's not, you're not going to just skirt by. So I would say just work hard and keep faith in whatever it is you're doing. Kind of trust the process.
Well, I have one last question before I let you go. I saw somewhere that you're a Cleveland Browns fan. Is that true?
Yeah, I am. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So full disclosure, I'm a big Baltimore Ravens fan.
Oh, man.
So I just got to ask you, who's going to win the division this year?
Oh my God. I want to say the Browns, but I I can't stand Lamar Jackson. I just I don't want him to get hurt, but I just hope he doesn't have great games against us. And we play each other back-to-back weeks, basically, which is going to be tough. I mean, I think one is a Sunday night game, and then we have the bye, and then I think it's just a regular 1:00 game for that second one. So I think it's one of the toughest divisions in football. Unfortunately. Hopefully both teams will be healthy by then, so it'll be great games, kind of like that second game last year. That second game last year was fun to watch, even though you guys pulled it out. But I would just like for us both to make the playoffs. I'd like to not see you guys in the playoffs, and hopefully the Browns are in the AFC Championship game. But
but I think something we can agree on is it seems like Pittsburgh's on the downward trend. So that's a good thing.
Absolutely. My wife and her entire family are Pittsburgh fans, so it's been kind of quiet.
No,
it's just it's all in good fun, and we both have great teams, but it just one time as a Cleveland fan, I just want someone to not be as good as us when we have a chance to win. I mean, I went through it with the Indians in 95 and 97 we ran into the Braves, who had an unbelievable pitching staff. And then in 97, we ran into a debacle with our bullpen. And then kind of 2014 to 2017 with the Cavs and LeBron, they were so good, but the Warriors were just so much better. And then Kevin Durant goes there, and that's just a whole nother story. So I just want to see one Cleveland championship with each team before I go ahead. So
that's fair.
Hopefully the Browns one's coming up. But I'll tell you what, if it does happen, if a Browns Super Bowl championship happens, Cleveland may fall into Lake Erie. I mean, it's a Browns town for sure. I mean, it is. It's crazy, and I would love to see it. But obviously, Lamar Jackson and the Ravens will be right there. So,
well, that's all the time we have. But thanks, Justin, for joining us on King Chasing, and we'll be watching and rooting for you on the PGA Tour.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.
Thanks again to Justin for giving us some insight on his journey to becoming a PGA Tour professional, and thanks to our listeners for once again tuning in wherever you are today. If you haven't yet, please subscribe to the King Chasing podcast on whatever app you use to listen. We would also appreciate it if you'd encourage others to listen and subscribe. Once again, we're thankful to you for listening in and supporting us. Join us next time on King Chasing. Take care, everyone.